Hello, YouTube. I am Shin Santana, and this is the infamous Shin. Let's rock. Now, as we all know, Nintendo is a company that's known for its family-friendly games and appeal, but game key cards are evil. Now, for those who don't know, game key cards are physical cartridges which grant users access to a download of a video game they purchase. And unlike digital games, the user is unable to play the game or even access it without the cartridge inside the console. And hey, some would say that that's pretty evil, but let's continue. So, being that game key cards aren't actual physical, tangible games, and in fact, download codes glued to microchips, this has made collectors of legacy physical games very angry. Which, in the long run, didn't seem to matter anyway because Nintendo ended up shattering all sales records with the launch of the Nintendo Switch 2. But anyway, now, game key cards can be a good way of developers getting their digital games in front of consumers to buy them, but they just come with a ton of anti-consumer practices which we should avoid. Now, when Nintendo decide to come out with a brand new console, totally new concept and idea, which is very likely being that they like to innovate, if your digital library does not migrate over, that is your game key card completely gone and lost in the digital ether, which is evil. One of the really annoying things about game key cards is that being that they're physical versions of digital games, they still take up a ton of hard drive space on your Nintendo Switch, which is another huge advantage of physical media. Now, digital games are usually cool because you can download them, have a ton of them on your hard drive, and not need to get up, put a physical disc in, and just have the complete convenience of just Netflix style choosing through all your games. But with game key cards, you still need the physical cartridge to actually play the game. So you're not getting either of the benefits of physical or digital media. It is just a mess, and it's just evil. So, being that the Nintendo Switch has been out for a couple of months and we've seen the sales data rise and fall, we've actually seen the effects of game key cards on what the public thinks, and it's not doing so well. Now, regarding third-party video games on the Nintendo Switch 2, as regards sales, they are not doing so well, and a lot of people think this is due to them being on game key cards, to the point where Nintendo has actually issued multiple surveys in Japan and in the West about what they like about physical games and whether they are interested in game key cards. Brother, Now, even though the Nintendo Switch 2 did actually have a very strong third-party showing as regards games with stuff like Street Fighter 6, Cyberpunk 2077, Sonic and Shadow Generations, Yakuza, and a ton of other great games, they didn't sell so well. In fact, the only developer that sold a substantial amount of games in that time was the only developer who didn't opt for a game key card. And even though Cyberpunk 2077 is probably one of the oldest games out of everything I just announced, it still managed to outsell everything because CD Projekt Red took the high road and used an actual physical game cartridge. Now, for some reason, Nintendo have gone back to their old ways of charging developers huge exorbitant amounts of money for physical cartridges. And there's a lot of third-party developers who just don't have the money. Since the results of the initial survey that Nintendo did about game key cards, we've heard rumors about them dropping the price on their physical game cartridges and introducing smaller ones for developers. Now, hopefully this results in us getting a lot more third-party actual physical games so the Nintendo Switch ecosystem can grow. Because as cool as what the Nintendo Switch 2 is, I really don't see people going all in on buying third-party games if they're just going to be game key cards. We've already seen the negative backlash towards it already. We've already seen people not buy them. So what could be next? So yeah, let me know what you think. Do you have any game key cards? Are you down with it? And yeah, holla at your boy. Sayonara.